There's nothing more powerful than learning to accept yourself and everything that you're feeling. That's one of the first things that I learned through mindfulness. And if you're wondering, as I am saying this, how do I actually learn to accept myself? I'm always going to say through mindfulness, through meditation, through observation, and those three things that I just mentioned, I would say that they are pretty much synonyms. So when I started off in my spiritual journey, my first encounter with spirituality was through meditation. And the meditations that I was doing were very simple meditations. And the first thing that I learned to do was to observe what was happening inside myself. So I learned to pay attention to my inner world and what was going on in there without judging myself. And this is how I actually started to get to know myself and to understand what was going on inside of my head. This is how I started to notice the difference between reality and what my mind was telling me that reality was. This is when I started to discover the inner bully that I had inside of myself and how hard I had been with myself for so many years. And this is ultimately how I discovered self-love. So today I am here to remind you how important it is for you to learn to accept yourself and to accept everything that's going on inside of you and to learn to pay attention to the inner mess going on inside of yourself without judgment. If there's one thing that I believe we all need to develop in order to be happier in this life, it's the ability to be compassionate with ourselves. It's the ability to detach from everything going on inside of ourselves and be able to observe it with compassion and with love, and especially with curiosity. Because curiosity is ultimately what's going to allow you to understand where those feelings that you're feeling are coming from. Curiosity is the one thing that is going to allow you to stop judging yourself, to stop dismissing how you're feeling, and most importantly, to stop running away. Pay attention to how much time in your life you spend running away from what you're feeling, running away from the discomfort inside of you, running away from the confusion, running away from the questions that your mind is popping. Because you hear a question, you spot the confusion, you realize you don't know, you get scared, so you run away and you distract yourself. Distraction is the number one way in which we run away from ourselves. Pay attention in your life how much you aim to distract yourself. And pay attention with curiosity, not with judgment. Start asking yourself, where is this need to run away from my feelings coming from? This is something that you're going to be able to pay attention to in your everyday life, but it's not something that you're going to be able to solve just by observing in your everyday life. And the reason for that is that we are too used to acting when we get an internal impulse. If you have the impulse to go on Instagram, to turn on the TV, to play a podcast episode, to play music, when you're feeling turned and confused and you're feeling that urge to escape from yourself, you're gonna do it. It's not just by observing in your everyday life that you're gonna be able to pause that and go internally and reflect. You're not gonna be able to do it the first time just in your everyday life, in your regular day-to-day, just like that. And so, what I want to encourage you to do today is to actually start practicing meditation, mindful meditation. And I don't want to scare you with this. You don't have to do a super long meditation. I encourage you to sit down or lay down for 5 minutes. That's all you have to do, 5 minutes. And what I want you to do is to try to not be scared of yourself during those 5 minutes. Try to lower your expectations on yourself during those 5 minutes. Expect nothing from you. Because the number one reason why people don't meditate or why they stop meditating in the first place once they get started is because they feel that they are not good at it. They feel that they suck at meditation. And if you feel that you suck at meditation, it's because you're measuring your performance against a certain expectation that you have of what it should be like. And so that's why the first thing that I want you to do is to remove that expectation. You're going to do it for the first time, or maybe you're picking it up again after having left it for a really long time. So I just want you to take the first step and to lay down for 5 minutes and just observe. All I want you to do is sit down with yourself. Sit down, lay down, it doesn't matter. Close your eyes for 5 minutes and just be there with yourself. Just observe. And what this is doing to yourself, even if you get caught up in a bunch of thought, in a bunch of worry, even if you start judging yourself or judging other people, or even if you start trying to fix what is it that you have to do during the next minutes, during the next day, during the next week, even if you start feeling the guilt of, I should be doing something else, but here I am for 5 minutes laying down, even if you feel all of that, you are doing it right just because you are not acting on your thoughts for 5 minutes. You're doing it right just because you're not distracting yourself from that experience for 5 minutes. You're doing it right just because you are there with yourself for 5 minutes. And in being there with yourself for those minutes, you are choosing to be loving and accepting with yourself. Because what you're doing and the signal that you're sending to yourself is, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for it. I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for the discomfort. It's only 5 minutes. I cannot handle more than that. More than 5 minutes is too much. I'm gonna lose my shit if I do this for more than 5 minutes. I really need to get my other stuff going. But I have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes for you. I have 5 minutes for your feelings. I have 5 minutes for your inner chaos, your inner mess. And as I am saying this, what I am doing is I am speaking from you to you. I'm speaking from me to me in that scenario. This is you speaking to yourself, saying, I'm here for you. I see you. I accept you. This sucks. I don't like how this feels. This is uncomfortable, but I am here. And that is an act of self-love. Not running away from yourself. Not running to the first distraction that you can find. Because it's just too hard to be with yourself for 5 minutes. And if you do this every day, just 5 minutes, you're going to start building this sense of respect toward yourself because you're showing up for yourself, and you're going to start noticing how you actually like this. Because there are two parts of you in this experiment or in this experience. The part of you that is showing up to give the love, and the part of you that is feeling seen. The part of you that is receiving the love. This is where you start to build a relationship with yourself. You show up for that part of you that feels unseen. And that part of you that feels unseen starts to feel seen, starts to feel accepted, starts to feel loved. And slowly but surely, you start to feel that you can rely on yourself, that you can trust yourself, because you know, number one, that you have the discipline to show up for yourself. And number two, you have the reassurance that there is someone showing up for yourself, even if no one else does, and that someone is you. This is a very powerful exercise. This is the power of observation. This is the power of showing up for yourself for 5 minutes to observe what's going on inside of you and showing yourself some love. And this is just the beginning of it. Because as you start doing this, and you start with 5 minutes, so you have a very low threshold that you don't feel super scared of, and it's going to be hard. Even if it's just 5 minutes, it's going to be hard at the first time. But as you start doing this, you will be able to increase the amount of time that you spend with yourself. You will be able to do 10 minutes. You will be able to do 20 minutes, 1 hour. And as you allow yourself, or as you build the skill to show up for yourself and be with yourself and not run away, you will start to experience other things. You will start to experience a more profound connection to yourself, and you will start to hear your inner voice, something that you may not be familiar with right now. Something that you may be listening to me right now and you're like, what the fuck is that? What is the inner voice? You will know. You will start to hear it. And you will start to get in touch with the wisdom of your soul. And this may sound a little bit woo-woo right now if this is not something that you're used to hearing. And it's okay. You don't have to believe me. But I'm just giving you a teaser of what will happen to you next if you just start showing up for 5 minutes every day until you get to the point where you can do 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour. And it's going to be very special. But let's not even go that far, because you don't have to do the 1 hour meditation to get there. All you need is 5 minutes to start showing yourself love and acceptance. There is no point in me telling you to accept your feelings and to accept how you feel and to be kind to yourself if you cannot make space in your day to practice this. And I am sure that you cannot make space in your day if you're running around like a headless chicken from distraction to distraction. Because the reality is that as I am releasing this video and as we're having this conversation, it's 2025 and the world is full of distractions and instant gratification. There's Netflix everywhere, new shows coming up, Instagram, TikTok, news. There is so much. The world is going so fast. It's so easy to shop online the next thing and comfort yourself. It's so easy to go out and order delivery, to really just not pay attention to what you're feeling. You are gonna do that. I do that. We all do it. It's everywhere around us. It's so hard to not do it. But if you want to start gaining control a little bit, one step at a time, the number one thing that you have to do to stop running away from yourself is to show up for 5 minutes. Say it again. Lay down, sit down, close your eyes, just be there for 5 minutes and observe, pay attention, and you will figure it out. You will know what I'm talking about.